Well. Last day on the row. Here we go.
No, I'm not leaving.
You're not leaving?
I love it here.
Get the room to yourself.
I love you guys. I am leaving, and I'm going to sleep for 4 days.
Well, Hogue, you're taking me with, so
I'm not going to sleep for 4 days because I have kids at home. But if I could, I would.
I mean, I got tennis Sunday morning, huge match, 7:30. If we're going to start moving to the future and get my focus, we don't want to do that. But I've had a great time with you guys. Nick and I had our last night together. We didn't even talk about the fact that Devin Hester didn't get into the Hall of Fame. Greg Braggs is very, 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 very upset. I think more upset than Devin Hester, although I'm sure Devin is bummed. Huge show coming up today.
I don't think Greg Braggs is more upset than Devin Hester.
I think he might be. Have you seen his Twitter?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about him, but that's all right.
I think Devin has a better perspective on it than Braggs does. That would be my guess.
It's still disappointing. I mean, I'm a huge Devin Hester supporter. My favorite player growing up, and not seeing him get in, it hurt. But he's going to get in eventually, and I think that's what Bears fans need to realize. It's going to happen at some point, but it just wasn't yesterday.
We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. You need to sign up. You need to be ready to go for this weekend with CHGO. That's the code you use, CHGO, when you sign up. DraftKings has been killing it all week. What a week it has been. We're going to tell some stories today. Talk a little bit about Hester. I see Crystal's already jumped in with a super chat, $9.99 super chat. Headed back into work, but I love the coverage this week, and I hate that I missed Urlacher live. That's my guy. Bear down. Love CHGO. The great thing is the people, our crew here, our crew back in Chicago have been killing it, and everything's up, and you can go back and watch it all. I think the Urlacher segment got posted separately on YouTube.
I got a lot of texts on the Urlacher from yesterday.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't get a single text on it.
No, yep.
Well,
who's texted you?
Listen, I've got people who like to communicate, and I got 3 people, which to me that's a lot on one interview that people are texting me randomly that they really like the Brian Urlacher interview. So there you go.
That's awesome.
That was as loose and as fun as I've seen Urlacher have in an interview, at least with one that I've done with him. So it was
That's
fun.
what happens on radio.
Yeah.
Media row. That's what happens on Media Row, you guys. You hear these stories and have a good time with each and every guest that we brought on. It's been awesome.
I thought it was interesting with Hester that, by the way, today we have on the show Kyle Brandt. Kyle Brandt was literally walking around. He saw Carm's T-shirt, saw your sweatshirt, loved the gear, immediately got his phone out, went to chgolocker.com and was looking for which shirt to buy. So that was awesome. So then he sat down with us. We're going to hear from Kyle Brandt, Carmie V in the house, and then Mack Hollins, Raiders wide receiver, free agent target potentially in the offseason. Fascinating dude. Doesn't wear shoes.
I think we got that on camera too. So he put his foot up and it's just his foot.
Literally doesn't wear shoes. Wherever he cannot wear shoes, he's not wearing shoes. And today he was not wearing shoes.
And I'm sure we'll have some surprises along the way, certainly like we did yesterday with Dean Blandino sitting down at the wrong table.
Who knows who's going to sit in that chair?
That was fun.
Nick Wright might be stopping by, might not be stopping by, my buddy, which I'm fingers crossed that he will, but I'm losing hope on that because his TV show's about 7 miles from here, but he's trying to make it over if he can.
Sounds like he's not coming, buddy.
Yeah.
No, don't do that to me. I'm going to hold out hope that my guy is who I lived with for a month in Houston, Texas, is going to show up because I want to yell at him about LeBron, and we can talk Chiefs with him.
Hit that like button. We do not have enough likes here to start the show. I know it's Friday, but let's go. It's last day on Radio Row. We also are so close to 25,000 subscribers on YouTube. We set this as the goal on Tuesday. We're at 24.8. We need to get that number up.
200 subscribers.
200.
You just
tell a friend.
You just got to tell one
Today
friend.
You got to tell 2.
Today
you got to text 2 different people.
Yeah.
And with the link to the stream, say hit subscribe, support the work, and
hit the like button if you think the NFL has no idea what they're doing deciding who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Ooh, that's a good one.
We can all agree on that one. There you go.
Hit that like button.
Hester lost votes.
Is it just because the class? I mean, is it the candidates too that obviously are going to impact that? I mean, obviously, I don't know, you guys. I mean, it changes year to year, but that was interesting to see that.
Well,
too.
last year, the reason why I thought last year sucked for him was because it seemed like the best opportunity, and then they ended up just like using the whole class to like get a bunch of guys in the head that probably should have been in earlier.
That's a good
so
point.
like that kind of shows you that probably eventually Hester's going to get in maybe in another year like that where it's overdue for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, he might be waiting longer than we thought because I still do think he gets in, but it was weird that he lost votes.
Yeah, you guys. Here's an announcement from Kevin Kaduk in
Okay.
our chat here. These 3 guys are not allowed to come back to Chicago unless we hit 25K. So
Look,
it's on you if we get home or not.
Kevin, I know you're threatening,
Which is not cool.
but I could do another 2 months in Arizona during winter.
I mean, I don't know if I'm coming back, period. I love
You already got your tennis rackets here, so you're good to go.
Carm is joining PHNX.
It's a lovely outfit, and I feel like I could contribute in some capacity. I'm not exactly sure what, but
Well, look, hey, true story. The other night when the Kevin Durant trade happened,
true.
and we were trying to call every single person, not we, but, our
staff
much
here.
more important bosses, we're trying to get a hold of everybody at PHNX to do an emergency pod. Carm and I were ready to go.
I said,
What-
I'll do this right now.
We're like,
Why
we'll-
the hell are they trading for Kevin Durant? Then 5 minutes later, I'm like, this is the greatest deal ever. The Suns are going to win the NBA
The
championship.
evolution of your brain, that was a very interesting, psychological look inside your brain over the course of 30 minutes. You went from, so against that trade for the Suns to by the end, you're like, this is they're going to win the finals.
I like Mikal Bridges a lot, and I somehow forgot about Devin Booker. So I was thinking, they're not winning with DeAndre Ayton and old man Chris Paul and KD. And I'm like, oh, they've got Booker too. And they only really gave up Bridges. We could have done a good show. We would, but they jumped in and those guys killed it. Of course they did.
No, they got it done.
We were not needed.
Yeah, and that's the glorious part about All City, that we got that coverage for all of our teams like that when big news like that happens.
And before we get to Kyle, I want to apologize to Nicholas Moriano and everybody out there who maybe thought less of Nick after I thought that Nick followed me into the restroom yesterday, and I had my private moment, and Nick sat down what I thought was Nick in the stall next to me, and there was a dude that was wearing the same color pants that had Air Jordans on, but it wasn't Nick, so he did not do that, and we're besties again.
We're good.
We slept together all week. Nick here, me there.
It was
the
just
snoring was unbelievable last night, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna miss this. I'm just gonna embrace this moment in time. This was you were
Mark,
cooked.
you had your night Thursday. I didn't want to
there
tell
it
you
is, there it is. I'm sure I
you were
did.
deep in your sleep, just snoring
I just love
away.
that you did. There was no reason to out Nick for following you into the bathroom yesterday into a stall. There was just no reason to bring it up. And so when we found out,
there was
7 hours later that it wasn't him,
I'm like, wait, Mark, I never went in. And then you're like,
I still don't understand why you didn't call him out on that while the show was going on.
well, I was just so confused. I'm like, wait, was
what
this
the
a
hell?
different time? I don't
What
know.
day was this?
Lack of sleep,
Yeah,
and hunger.
that's fair
I don't
enough.
know.
We also had a little excursion on Lime scooters last night that did not go well.
We had 3 blocks to go, and Hogue demanded that we all take Lime scooters and.
Well, hashtag for the content. The week started with us, with me saying, I'm getting you guys on a scooter by the end of the week. So we had the last chance last night. There was 100 scooters downtown because I think they thought they were going to be used. They really weren't. Carm couldn't figure out how to take a picture of his driver's license.
forever.
It was a bad start there. I had to eventually take his phone out of his hand, take the picture for him, get it uploaded, and then Carm got it going and just took off.
Gone.
And was gone. And I'm trying to keep up with him, and I look back, and Nick's not there. And I'm like, all right, well, unlike Mark Carmen, who knows where he is. He might be in Scottsdale by now. I turn around, I go back, I find Nick struggling on the corner with a scooter that's not working.
Well, once I got on my thing and Nick showed me how to do it, roll it, and then you hit the button, and then you take off. I basically was a 6-year-old. I was like, wee, this is really fun.
And I tried 2 scooters. That's the thing. So I knew how to do. Well, I thought I knew how to do it, and both of them didn't work. So I ended up walking. My Lime experience was not really an experience.
But then what I did not realize is that it doesn't work on the sidewalk. So I tried to go to our parking garage, which was through sidewalks.
Well, you could just take it right to the car?
Yeah, I was going to take it.
You can't just leave it right where the
Why
car's
not?
parked.
I see random scooters all over the place.
Yeah, that's not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, that doesn't work that way. So I didn't know any of that. So then I had to walk the thing back out. I was hating you at that point. Then I had to find I'm like, how am I supposed to find where I could dock this thing properly? But then I did, and you were right there. And then we reconvened, and I had my Cold Stone Creamery, and it was delicious.
Wait. It doesn't work on sidewalks like at all? Like it won't go? Is that why mine didn't work?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
That's why it didn't work.
I was on to cross
I literally
the street.
told both of you, you have to be on the street.
Oh, shit.
This is a good glimpse inside my week, guys.
Wow. So wow.
Yeah, it was
It
definitely.
I feel like I've been dealing with my kids all week. They just don't listen.
I was gonna say.
I'm
Like,
talking.
you guys are all older than me.
Emma,
And-
don't be on Team Hogue.
Yeah,
Stay with
yeah.
Team Nick
Stay-
and Steve
yep.
Kim.
You're telling me
here.
you never tried it on the street?
I did. That's where it worked. But then when I was on sidewalks, it magically just died.
So why didn't you stay on the street?
Because I thought it didn't work.
Because he's in sports media and there's nothing else we can do, and we're not that smart. Right here. Come on.
Yes.
What else
Iowa.
could I possibly do with my life than
Iowa education.
Oh, man.
And by the way,
There's Emmett Smith.
You got anything to yell at Emmett Smith?
Yeah.
Is he arguable?
Arguable
goat?
Want me to yell
No, I
something?
don't
No,
want you
no,
to.
not
I
this
definitely
time.
don't
Oh,
want
no.
you
you
to.
weren't as good as Walter. You weren't as good as Walter. You weren't as good as Walter.
He knows that. He'd probably agree
Oh,
with
he's jumping
you.
over here. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man, that would be a great way for the week
Open
to end.
seat for you, Emmett, right here.
That would be a great way for the week to end. All right.
By the way, I got no shot of getting out of here. I'm really sorry, bro.
I told you.
R.I.P. Nick Wright on the show.
It happens.
Does he make the list?
Your list? You have a
There's
growing
list.
list.
There's
got
a
a
list.
list
growing this week.
He's not on that list.
The hit list.
He's definitely not on that
But
list.
that's not a hit list. That's not like,
But that's the
create an international incident.
what I've learned this week hanging out with you
Yeah.
is that you, and I knew this before, but you are one competitive dude. You are a competitive Hogue, and I love you for it.
But here's the thing. It's a lot of times I'm not. Well, I am.
No, you
But-
are.
but-
You're undercover and
But remember how
intensely competitive.
But remember how I started Monday's show when I said the Super Bowl is my Super Bowl?
That's right.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
actually feel bad for a lot of the people that we've been working with all week. They're probably extremely annoyed with me.
Don't cross Hogue on Super Bowl week. Don't boast about things that you're doing that we're not doing. Don't do a lot of things. But let me tell you something. I like being on this team.
It's a great team.
I
It's
like
great
this team.
Fantastic.
We've had a lot of fun.
We have. So should we talk to Kyle?
Yeah. So, what's cool about this setup is we've been getting a lot of eyeballs on it. People walking by and be like, what's going on there? I've had random people be like, I really like what you do. Not me, but our operation here. One of those people, Kyle Brandt from NFL Network, Good Morning Football.
Didn't mean to cut you up, but one of the more interesting paths to being a prominent sports broadcaster, which he shares.
And he's a Chicagoan. So he was like, hey, what's going on here? And he didn't have time originally to join us. He's like, let me make a phone call. Give me 60 seconds. Comes back, goes, all right, let's go. Let's go do this. So here it is. Fun conversation with our guy, Kyle Brandt. Well, one of the greatest parts about Radio Row, which is now called Media Row.
Is that right?
Yeah, they changed it.
I don't like it.
Probably because of people like us, though.
Yeah, this isn't exactly radio. There's
No.
I don't think much about what's left on Radio Row is radio anymore. Maybe they should have changed it.
Yeah, it really. Tony Bruno was walking around yesterday trying to do a poll of who was actually still a radio station.
What did he come up with? I love Tony.
He never gave us the answers, but we were talking to him for a while about it. He was really
That's funny.
But you get to see people walk by, and Kyle Brandt from the greatest football show ever in
That's
the morning. Good Morning Football on NFL Network was walking by, and he's
It
a
is right.
Chicago guy.
That's right.
Stevenson, represents. So
That's right.
we stopped him and said, hey, can you stop by? We appreciate you doing so.
Thrilled to be here. Thrilled to represent Stevenson High School, the real Patriots. NFL Connection alumnuses include myself, Rob Ryan, Rex Ryan, and unfortunately Ron Goldman. Hate to say it like that, but that's true. That's all fact.
That's awesome.
That is a great list, though. Come on, let's be honest. This is Stevenson's big time.
That's right.
And now wearing a Diamondbacks jersey, which kind of hurts the Chicago heart a little bit.
It totally does, but I'm trying to pay homage to the region here. I'm like, whenever I go to whatever the Super Bowl may be in LA or it's going to be in Vegas next year, I try to like get something that represents where you are. So I was going to buy like a horribly cheesy T-shirt with like cacti on it or something, but the first thing I saw was this Randy Johnson Diamondbacks jersey, and I'm a big Randy Johnson guy. Who isn't? And I especially like the Diamondbacks version of him. So I'm just going to wear this all weekend. This is going to be my look.
It's a good remembrance
It's a
of
great jersey.
the Diamondbacks version of Randy Johnson. That is when he killed the bird, right? I think that's when he killed the bird.
Yeah, that was the Diamondbacks thing, not Yankees. Someone confirmed that when he killed the bird and didn't think it was funny at all. Everyone's like, Randy, wasn't that crazy when you killed that bird? I don't think it was very funny.
It was hilarious.
It was unbelievably funny. I mean,
The bird just exploded.
Night at NFL Honors was really
Yeah.
something. The NFL Honors, if anybody doesn't know, it's like kind of the Oscars of the NFL. And just going to it, it feels like it's at being at football Comic-Con. Like every single person you see feels like you're seeing Wolverine and Han Solo and Captain Picard. It's all the Hall of Famers, all the young cool players, random celebrities that have gotten like shoehorned into the show so they can collect a check. It's really a trip to do it. And then especially if you're part of it, like it becomes like a legit acid trip.
Did you grow up diehard Bear fan?
Let me think how to answer that. As a kid, yes. So I'll lay it out for you. I was 6 years old for the '85 team, and I have vivid memories of having the record of the Super Bowl Shuffle. Not even a cassette, a miniature record.
Yeah.
And we would just wear it out. So we had like wear your Bears stuff to school days that year. I remember vividly the Monday after they lost to the Dolphins that year, and showing up and like everyone, it was like a funeral. Everyone was so sad. So I was diehard through the Payton era and the early Ditka era. Then I get to high school and it was Wanstead, little troublesome, not as much winning.
A lot troublesome.
A lot of troublesome. And then you just get into the upside down after that. I had a renaissance like when everyone did with Lovey. And my single favorite memory as a Bears fan ever is I got to attend the Bears-Saints NFC title game in the snow at Soldier Field. Grossman versus Breeze, Urlacher versus Bush. Great game, great scene. Snows in the fourth quarter, and they're going to the Super Bowl. And we're going to beat the Colts. No, they didn't beat the Colts. But I guess what I'm saying is I'm really bleeping fair weather. That's what it comes to. I like the Ditka and the Lovey era.
Well, hey, at least you call it out.
I did. Listen, I was not beating the table for the Bears necessarily during the Mark Trestman era or the John Fox. I skipped over Dick Duran, too. My favorite Bears team of all time is the 01 Bears. That is the Jim Miller, Anthony Thomas, A-Train, Young Urlacher, Mike Brown. I think they went 13-3 that year and lost to the Donovan McNabb Eagles in the playoffs. But that was a Dick Duran team, and I love that team. Back-to-back walk-off wins with interceptions by Mike Brown. So that's my favorite Bears team ever. And I've told Jim Miller that. I don't know if he believes me, but it is.
Kyle, what about this current Bears team? You have Justin Fields. Everything's able to do with his legs. What are kind of your thoughts about this team, where it's kind of going now?
Well, it's just like I can't believe that they have the number one pick. I know that's been the case for weeks now, and I still can't believe it.
We can't either.
It never happens. And they've had some terrible Bears teams in our lifetime. They never get the number one pick. The ball just doesn't bounce right, and then not only that they have it, but they got it in the stupidest, most ludicrous fashion of all time. And I'm watching Week 18 Texans Colts, the worst game of the season. No one gives a crap. And it was like the Super Bowl for the Bears. And they're throwing prayers into the end zone that are being caught. And you're like, is this going to happen? Are these idiots, the Texans, actually going to win this game? What are they doing? And then there's this beautiful symmetry that it was Lovey there on the sideline doing it for them. It was a beautiful experience. And now it's like, we're hosting the party. We're doing it. Everybody come to us and pay.
Well, it's like the 3 best Bears games of the year were Week 1, the slide in the end zone at the end when they beat the 49ers.
That was fun.
The dominating the Patriots on Monday Night Football.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And then Davis Mills with his prayer in the Texans. We're counting that as a Bears game now.
I think Davis Mills has the biggest Bears win in a few years.
Yeah, right?
Like since the Nagy double doink season, it was really clutch. And now it's like, all right, what do you got? You want a number 1? Pay through the bleeping teeth. We want it all. Everything not nailed down, give it to us. I just wonder, like, is there a possibility they just decide to fall in love with a player that's not a quarterback? Because we're not really to draft season yet. But this doesn't seem to be the, like, Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, that, like, oh, my God, that freakish defensive player that we have to have. I don't feel like he's out there. So you better not draft a bleeping quarterback, and I don't think they're doing that. And I think it's just like, who wants it the most? Pay.
If it was Ryan Pace drafting, he would have some conviction on somebody, and they wouldn't deal it. So I think Poles is definitely going the other way. You wake up every morning and you talk football. Like, was that the dream job? It couldn't have even been the dream job for you. Like, how? This is your life moment. Like, do you ever picture? Like, how does this happen? Like, when you think about your journey to get to that point and just doing it.
Well, my dream job was to play football. Like I think I have like the little art project that we all did when we were in 4th grade. And favorite food, favorite TV show. What do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like running back for Bears. Like that was the thing. Wildly undertalented for that. I learned that like in late high school when the recruiting letters started drying up. I'm like, well, the Big Tens aren't really calling. So I realized that. And then just like a lot of us, I'm supposed to say, well, when you realized you couldn't play anymore, you wanted to talk football. That wasn't me. I had wild left-turn deviations into MTV reality shows and soap operas, and then I finally found my way back to sports through Jim Rome, who I worked with for a long time. And I worked off-camera, like for 8 or 9 years, just writing and producing, no on-camera presence until the very end of it. And I loved it because I just, listen, I was coming off a job on 3.5 years on Days of Our Lives where I would be paid to take my shirt off. It was meat market, like ridiculous. My mom was like, why did you go to college if you're going to do this? So I think going to Rome after that was like, has nothing to do with like how I look or how many ab exercises I've done or all that disgusting stuff. It was just like, I'm going to give you some takes on Kobe Bryant and let's see if you like them. And then for a while he did.
And Kyle, now your camera presence is obviously known, and you just presented the Angry Runs of the Year last night.
Yeah.
What was that moment like for you, man?
So strange. It's so strange. And it's stranger for reasons that I didn't even anticipate. So in 10 seconds, I scream and hoot and holler about really the most physically dominant runs every week, and it's someone getting stiff-armed into the core of the earth or decleated. It's fun. It's like football that used to be. Like there's still a physicality in football, even though like they're reducing it greatly. So it's already enough to go up there and scream about stiff arms and stuff like that. I'm standing on the side of the stage, not knowing what is going to happen in the show or what the content is in the show. And as I'm standing on the side stage, I notice there's a large crowd of people that walk by me, and they're all surrounding this one person in the middle. And I'm like, who is that? Who is that? And I go, oh my God, that's Damar Hamlin. What's he doing back here?
Wow.
The act before Angry Runs was Damar Hamlin and the entire Buffalo Bills medical staff who saved his life and maybe saved football, going on the stage, getting a standing ovation. Roger Goodell is crying. There's not a dry eye in the house. And they're like, this is a beautiful thing. And Damar Hamlin says, I want to thank God. He's the reason I'm here right now. And everyone cries and claps, and they walk off stage. Next up, Kyle Brandt with Angry Runs. And I'm like, quite a pivot. Oh, man. I didn't know this was it. And I got to go out there and start screaming and making Mario Kart jokes or whatever I'm doing. And I had no choice. The live show, I just ran out there and did it. And it was 2.5 minutes of just hysteria and just the faces that flashed in front of my eyes as I'm doing it. Meek Mill, Kurt Warner, Jared Goff, Tracy Morgan. I'm like, where am I? If I died? It was an unbelievable thing, but I got through it, and I was thrilled to do it.
You should celebrate that you're in that crew,
That's
brother.
Cool. Thank you, dude.
I mean,
I do celebrate it.
The only thing that I could reference as when I was in a piano recital at 9 years
Sure.
old, and there was this amazing performance right before me. They're going, I mean, literally standing ovation for this 9-year-old. She was incredible. And then I'm walking up next to play like, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Like,
That's such a good comparison. This kid's banging out Tchaikovsky, and you got hot cross buns, and you got your little suit on.
all right, and then my family in the back.
Yay!
Way to go, Carm.
That was
been
incredible.
terrified.
But imagine if that 9-year-old kid who played Tchaikovsky had cardiac arrest at his piano recital prior and had to be resuscitated, and the whole world saw it.
Right. Throw that in there too. Yeah.
It was a lot. It was really a lot. Oh my gosh.
And we wouldn't have gotten Kyle, by the way, to sit down. That's not exactly true. But you got excited to sit down because you liked our gear.
I love gear.
CHGO Locker.
We'll get you some.
I'm
sure.
sitting there like, you guys are like, will you come on? I'm like, yeah, let me try to make the schedule work. But more importantly, I'm demanding where can I get those shirts?
Yeah.
Like I'm pulling up the website. I want them. I love them. Tell me more about them and tell the people where they can get these shirts.
CHGOlocker.com, damn it. That's where you go.
We're sending a shipment to you.
CHGOlocker.com, damn it. That's where you go. Put that on a pillow.
.com.
.com. That's exactly right.
Thanks so much, Kyle, for being here.
I'm
This is awesome.
thrilled to do it and love to see you guys, and thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Super cool stuff with Kyle Brandt there. He was a good dude.
Did you know his journey?
A
That he
little
was
bit, yeah.
That he took his shirt off on soap operas.
Yeah, he was like basically Joey from Friends for a while there, and
Okay, I mean, I wasn't.
real world guy.
Yeah, I wasn't watching.
He's like a
soap, so-
celebrity. That,
I
and
should've-
you know what? The part I had forgotten was the Jim Rome part. That's the part I
Which
had
is also
forgotten.
super interesting that he did that for nearly a decade,
Yeah.
making Rome look good, which it's rare that you go from that to one of the more prominent NFL talkers.
Whoever's responsible for putting that Good Morning Football show together did a tremendous job. It's just a great pairing of, four different
types of
pieces
people, yep.
that make it all come together.
It's kind of amazing that they have the success that they've had without contacting me. At least how do they do that?
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
At least a consulting role. Let me be your media savant. By the way, we are speaking of consulting, just consulting with you. We are about 115 away from 25K on YouTube.
Let's go.
So let's
We're getting there.
We're creeping, and we're under 100 away. We haven't been talking about this for CHGO Bears followers on Twitter. Ooh. So at CHGO_Bears. Let's make this an historic day, the last day of Super Bowl Media Week.
Last day in Arizona.
Arizona. We've been having a great time. No, you got something else?
No, I was vibing.
What were you singing?
Arizona, we've been having a great time.
But to what tune?
Arizona.
Mark's tune.
Arizona, don't you? Is that not a real song, Allie? Arizona.
No one knows.
Anybody?
Arizona. I got the wrong words. Totally. What's that? What's that one song? Sign your name across my heart. Sign your name across my. I used to think it was suddenly. Suddenly, I do my na loop bumpa needoo way. That one.
See, I'm supposed to talk about DraftKings now, but I'm a little afraid they're
Arizona.
embarrassed for you right now.
No,
And they
DraftKings-
might not want me to come out of that singing into their.
Let me help
love.
you out. DraftKings setup here. My God, you guys you're doing it right.
Oh, the DraftKings setup over there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
They're doing it right.
They ain't playing.
They are ready for the biggest Sunday in sports. I hope you are. We are. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57, has all the Super Bowl action you need. New customers can bet just $5, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers, new or old, whatever, you can get in on the Super Bowl 57 excitement with DraftKings Happy Hour Super Boost. Check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day between 6 and 9 p.m. Eastern. That's 5 to 8 Central Time to see what prop bet will be boosted. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code CHGO. New customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
And let me tell you, that's a picture of Kyle Long. We are talking about Game Time, the hottest new ticketing site, makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. Front row, 50-yard line, behind home plate, last row, Game Time is the only way to go about your business if you want to get the best value. Bottom line, best value, Game Time. Game Time is created by the fans for the fans. Again, that lowest price. If you love CHGO, you're going to love Game Time. Best way to support us. Buy your tickets through the link in the description. And looking at value right now on Game Time with the bad Wi-Fi here, it's still going to Coyotes Blackhawks yesterday. Is that
Bad Wi-Fi.
See, yesterday it was like $60. Now it's down to cheapest to get in. Nice corner seat, $71.
Why is that game not here? We could go to that game here.
Well, actually, we're leaving today, Adam. So we have a
Not if the Hawks were in town.
That's true.
We're not leaving.
We would have stayed.
We need to get 25,000 subscribers, and if we don't, we are staying, according to head of content Kevin Cada.
That's true.
That's true. I'm just going to stay for spring training. It's going to be glorious.
Game Time tickets, and yeah, let's
download the app.
Download the app.
Support CHGO.
Support CHGO. Let's live the dream. And I hope somebody will buy some Game Time tickets for Northwestern and Purdue coming for you, Bragg, Sunday.
That's a good
Bowl
segue
Sunday.
into what happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Did somebody?
So we
Someone get a little.
Hey, we're going to be honest. We kind of knew Hester was not getting in, but there's always there's always the small chance that someone was screwing with somebody. I don't know. We wanted to make sure we were still around just in case that was not accurate. So we went to a nice pizza place.
Delicious.
How would you describe this place? It was like nice.
It was
Italian pizza, but it wasn't like a nice
relaxed nice
restaurant. But the place had some class. The bartender had an accent.
Very chill.
The way she said the wine that you ordered. I mean, you were drinking wine, so it was nice enough for wine.
And it was a good wine too. And the place was great. You did an outstanding Google search. We
walk in, we go to the bar, and Carm goes, "Can you put on FS1? I need to watch Northwestern Ohio State."
Right.
Okay.
Huge game for the Cats, trying to make the tournament for the second time in their history. Tight ball game in the second half. Can't lose to the Buckeyes again. Got to get that 8th win in the Big Ten, trying to trek to 11. Tough games coming up. Purdue on Sunday, number 1 in the country. And I was losing it a little bit.
Yes, you were.
You at one point, slammed.
Oh, yeah.
You were like,
Did I slam?
I'm going to move my mic away from my face a little bit. You were like, come on!
No, I just...
And the entire bar looked at you, just like all these random people just looked at me yelling.
I just simply, I think, said, at least in my most vivid memory of the evening, was something along the lines, grab the something rebound loudly. And Hogue was just terrible. He was mortified the whole time. You're very loud. You're very loud. Quit being. This is a restaurant. This isn't a sports bar.
Right.
Carm.
I guess that's why if we're in a sports bar, this would be okay. It was a nice enough place that this was not normal behavior.
You had small children present. They're looking over at Carm like, what's going on?
But I had rationalized it in my head. Look, I've been rooting for this team since I was 10 years old. They've gone to the tournament once in my life. I am allowed to be a little bit emotional.
This is true.
Now, can I tell you what was going through the heads of everyone else that was trying to figure you out?
Why do you care?
Right.
Exactly.
Which is, here's a random guy watching random Northwestern Ohio State.
Probably thought I had a bet on DraftKings.
Yes.
Everyone
else was like, this guy lives a sad existence and probably has $5,000 on this game right now, which you did not. You didn't have a single dollar. You just had emotional love.
Yeah, the sad existence would have, if you just left it there, that would have been fine. But I hadn't gambled on it.
But I'm just telling everyone there probably thought you had multiple thousands of dollars on the game.
And
the way you were acting.
Right, not that I was just sweating out whether the Cats will make the NCAA tournament as a 10 seed and lose in the first round.
Well, we had Northwestern basketball the other night, and then on our meetup with All City Network and all the fans, DePaul was playing on the TV. So there's a lot of Chicagoland basketball just being played, nationally in Arizona.
That's true. CHGO.
I'm going to be completely honest right now. There's not a second from that meetup the other night where I noticed DePaul was playing on the TV.
When we walked in.
Yeah, right.
Did not notice. You guys walked in without me, though.
That's true. Yep.
Well, because you were so sick of me and my nonsense that you just walked in ahead of me. No, I think I had a phone call.
But
or something.
the highlight of walking around yesterday was when Kyle Long saw Adam Hogue and acted like he had seen. It was like it was the first time seeing his dad Howie in 5 years. It was like so happy. Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm like, this Adam Hogue.
Yeah, right?
Are you guys besties? What's going on here?
That was probably the best greeting I've gotten in my life in at least like a year and a half.
Oh my God! Oh my!
I promise you, my son will not give me that. Even give me a remotely as cool of a greeting when I get home.
My dad.
Yeah.
We just have RG over here looking off like, what is going on over here? We just have Mark yelling, oh my
It's
God.
most of our watchers and viewers, most days, yeah.
Kyle might be
Archie's
stopped.
like ready to go in case something happens.
Oh, yeah.
Why are
Oh,
we
yeah.
saying, oh my God.
Well, we might actually need him because Kyle is trying to get over here. I don't think he has a pass, so we might have to go out there to talk to him when the show's over. Which seems a little ridiculous that Kyle Long can't get in the meteor row, but the fake Andy Reid. I hope fake Andy Reid walks by behind us during the show. There's a guy walking around here who looks exactly like Andy Reid.
It is Andy Reid.
All right, let's get to our next wide receiver who's going to do what he did for the Raiders for the Bears. What do you think about that?
You're very excited about that possibility. Mack Hollins. Mack Hollins played in North Carolina with Mitch Trubisky. He's been in the league, kind of a journeyman, special teamer, solid wide receiver who that was a career high in catches this year, right? 57?
57, yep.
Free agent to be
Coolest dude going.
very fascinating guy who doesn't wear shoes. Let's start the interview with that right there. Let's go. Here it is, Mack Hollins. All right, time now to bring in our next guest who's here with Special Olympics. It's Mack Hollins. Look at best dressed, most stylish guest we've had all week.
Well,
no doubt about it.
And I've talked to Mac over the years with Special Olympics, and Mac's just this is one of the coolest dudes going. And I want him to be a Chicago Bear, and he is a free agent, and he's not going to be able to talk about that too much. But you had your best year yet in the league, and congratulations. You made the Raiders a better football team this year as their number 2. That's got to be an awesome feeling for just to have that level of success. By the way, congratulations.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It was definitely a good feeling. You know, it's. I think I've done these kind of one-year deals and prove-it deals, and I got an opportunity with the Raiders and tried to make the most of it. Had a great guys to learn from. Like, got the best receiver in the league to be able to learn from every day, and I took a lot from that and was able to have a good year.
Mac, real quickly, for our viewers that are watching this, can you explain your shirt here? You have Naruto, you have Ninja Turtles. What's going on?
Yeah, so it's the Naruto Ninja Turtles collab. I'm a huge anime fan. I think everybody's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. I don't think that's like really awesome. The Naruto, I don't know if everybody's.
Dragon Ball Z? Did you watch
Dragon Ball Z?
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
watch that. I have a huge list on my computer of all the animes I watch. Like, I can't tell you the last show I watched that had real people and wasn't like anime.
That's awesome.
Besides football?
No, I don't watch football unless it's at the building or like.
Unless it's tape.
Unless I'm watching tape. Like, I'm not gonna. Like, I haven't watched the Super Bowl since I played in it.
So you won't watch this one?
No,
like, at all?
No.
Was you just throwing an anime and just kind of?
Throwing an anime, yeah. It's just like it's too analytical about it. Like the joy of the game isn't really there. Like, I'm just watching it for fun. I'm just like, oh, he should have done this. Like, this is wrong. This is great.
Have you
Super
met?
Bowl with the Eagles, by the way, for people are he was an Eagle first, then a Dolphin.
Yeah.
Now a Raider. Anyway.
Have you met Martellus Bennett at all?
Yeah, and I played
Because
with
he's
Michael.
you reminded me of Marty when he was in Chicago. Like, great football player, but like he had all these other interests and stuff like that. And
There's other things in the world.
Yeah.
And I think some guys can get too stuck, and everybody has their thing. But if I get too much on football, I end up diminishing returns, kind of.
yeah.
So I spent time with Marty in New Orleans at the national championship game when it was LSU and with Burrow and Clemson with Trevor. We went and got a foot massage. We did some weird stuff. You're not wearing any shoes.
No shoes.
What's up with the no shoes? I mean, you're walking. This is
I've been
tell
no
me.
shoes for 5 years, unless I'm forced to wear them. It just feels better.
Even outside?
Yeah, unless it's cold enough to cause damage to it or hot enough to cause damage.
Yeah.
I'm barefoot.
Wow.
Like everywhere I go, stores, unless I get kicked out.
Is there somewhere?
Do they kick you out?
Yeah, I've been kicked out.
Yeah.
It's just, usually it's like somebody else complaining, which is just mind-blowing to me because when's the last time you cleaned the bottom of your shoe?
Never.
Like I clean my feet all the time, so like my feet are definitely cleaner than your shoes, but nobody says anything about the shoes.
That is a very good point.
Do you actually feel more, I'm gonna get organically nerdy out here. Do you feel more connected to the earth? Is that what's up?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely do. I think it's like if you were to try to do some of your hands with mittens on, like you would think that's the most backwards thing in the world. But then people put shoes on your feet and you can't move your toes. Not sure if y'all have kids, but like if you see your kids' toes, like how spread out they are, how they can move them so well. And then if you ever put shoes on them, they kind of start walking weird. Like they'll walk fine barefoot, and then you put shoes on because you just lose all the senses. It's like you put socks on a dog and they start like, what the heck? Because they can't feel anything.
I have a 1.5-year-old, and she just went from like walking barefoot everywhere. Now we put shoes on her when we got to go outside because we're in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's cold in the winter. You can't put a
Yeah,
baby out there.
absolutely,
But then it's like, then all of a sudden she's walking like this. You're like, he's right.
So through the airport, NFL.
The airport, I got to have shoes on.
Okay. Okay.
The like a Home Depot or Lowe's, because they consider it like a working warehouse or something like that.
Okay.
So like laws-wise, but there's no U.S. law. I had to do the research all these times I got kicked out. That says you can't be like in a grocery store barefoot.
And did the research on it.
You gotta know it.
Back to football for 1 second. You played with Mitch Trubisky in college. You're still boys with him.
Yeah.
His time in Chicago is interesting because I think everybody recognized that Mitch is a great dude, worked hard, all his teammates loved him. It just didn't work out. I mean, when you're following all that, was that tough as a friend? I mean, how did you look at his time in Chicago?
Yeah, I think it's definitely tough, and that kind of is what the league is. You can be a great player in the wrong place, and it just doesn't work out, which is unfortunate because he is a great. Like obviously, I played with him. I knew before he was coming into his senior year that he was going to be like great. It's just a matter of is the fit right? Like even in my situation, how all of a sudden did I become a receiver that has 600 plus yards? Like it wasn't like I had some great offseason. Like I've been the same player, but I just didn't fit systems. That's not a coaching fault or anything. It's just sometimes the system doesn't work best for certain guys.
There's also, I'm assuming you got to build connection, right? I don't know how you did it with Derek or how you got close with Devontae. So become a guy that's like, oh, I enjoy hanging out with this dude and I want to work with him. And it's not just a friendly thing. You got to have the talent too, but like all that's got to come together.
Yeah, I think it's like any relationship. It can't just be purely one thing. There's a lot of different aspects that go into it, and that kind of builds that relationship and makes it easier to just connect. And maybe it's some sort of cerebral or like conscious, subconscious type of level. I don't know, but there's definitely more into it than just, hey, we're on the same team.
Did you go to the Raiders because that was like best offer, or were you kind of like, I think like this could actually work out in the way it did for you?
Yeah, no, Raiders was best opportunity more than best offer. That's all I asked was, hey, like when I talked to Zig and Coach McDaniels, was like, hey, I just want an opportunity. I don't want you to give me anything. I just want like a fair opportunity, not like, hey, you're gonna get one rep every like 4 or 5 plays, and it's gonna be a go ball that you're not getting. Like a true opportunity, and that's all. The training camp, they gave me an opportunity. OTAs, they gave me an opportunity to earn the spot, and I was able to do that.
What do you know about Chicago?
I know it's the Windy City. I know the Super Bowl Shuffle.
If you know, that's
the
all.
Super
we
Bowl
need.
Shuffle's been getting a lot of play this week.
That's all. That's all we need.
Yeah,
we got
William Perry. Sweetness. I know. Like
I'm just letting. Well, you should also know Bears got a lot of money. Bears got some needs. Bears could use some versatile dudes. You can do special teams. You can catch.
I can do it all.
You can do. You enjoy. What do you enjoy more? Because I mean, you're big time special teams talent. But I mean, catching the football is catching the football.
Yeah, catching the football is fun. I think that. So this past year, I played less special teams than I ever have before. And this might sound bad, but offense and defense, I don't know. I don't play defense. Offense really not nearly as hard as special teams is. Like special teams, you get one opportunity, and it's like it's grueling. Like it's painful to be out there doing it. Now, not to say offense is like you go out there and just be easy and just go for 1,000 yards. Devontae makes it look like it's easy. It's not easy. It's not. But like in terms of the physical like hits that you get and take, special teams is way harder on the body.
You got to have the want to do it.
Yeah.
This dude's a special teams coach on the high school level, and all he wants to do is talk special teams.
Well, I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds on it, but no, what he's talking, I actually agree with what you just said. I mean, defense, you probably have more plays over the course of a game, but when you're on special teams, you're getting hit like no matter where you're playing on the field.
Like, you gotta go all out.
And you're going full speed across the field and with much more space. So
Like, you got to really go. There's no – I mean, guys take plays off on offense, like, at the end of the day. But second down, I'll make up for it. Like, special teams, you take a play off, like, it could be a touchdown, it could be a turnover. Like, you're going to look bad on tape.
Or you get hurt.
Yeah, or you get hurt.
Yeah.
And there's going to be like 8 plays in film that you watch. So it's not like you got 80 plays to go through and it's like somebody else going to get yelled at later. Like, nah, you might be the worst player.
Mac, real quickly, to kind of go back to the offensive side, just seeing what Justin Fields did this season, what is that? What kind of your impressions about him and what he's able to do in year 2 with all the big runs and things
it's
like
impressive.
that?
It's impressive. I think it's, as from a coaching side, you're probably like, I wish my quarterback didn't have to run that much. But, like, the things he's doing with his legs, I think it's amazing. Like, you guys like him, Lamar, that can do these things with their legs, but then also be so proficient in the passing game. It's almost like they get overshadowed. Their passing game gets overshadowed because they're so good at running. But, like, they have a lot of talent. Like, you can't just say, like, oh, well, he's not good at throwing because he's so good at running. Like, no, these dudes are good at both.
So Special Olympics, you've been an ambassador for a long time, and I know there's stuff going on the health side right now, and also the games are coming up this June, right?
Yeah, Berlin.
You gonna be in Berlin?
I'm really trying because that's like the month that we get off between OTAs and training camp. So if I could go, like, I'm there.
Why? Just tell people about how awesome the partnership's been for you, just working and experiencing.
It's been amazing. So I had a Special Olympics athlete in my neighborhood when I was growing up, and then got to UNC, and one of my teammates had a brother that was a Special Olympics athlete. So it's kind of been in my life for a while. And then when I got to the NFL, that's when it really blossomed into like this champion ambassador, this connection where I'm doing stuff on Radio Row, all this different stuff. And just the stuff that I've learned, like those with intellectual disabilities die like 16 to 20 years earlier from preventable things.
Yep. It's harder to communicate. People don't understand.
They don't understand how to do these health screenings. And that's another thing with the World Games is they're going to do health screens on all the athletes, full health screens. And a lot of these athletes don't get these things. And you'd think like, oh, this is the top of the top Special Olympics athletes. They probably get this stuff all the time. Like,
no, they don't.
Like we get confused because us as NFL players have to do 30,000 physicals a year. You think that they get it, but no. And that's something that I've learned over the years with Special Olympics is like these are the things we're trying to change and make better.
Yeah, and there are doctors out there too, like, oh, that Special Olympics athlete can't move their arm above their shoulders. Well, let's not worry about that because, so they're like they'll literally get less care because of who they are, and obviously that's trying to not be the case going forward.
Yeah, right. Like they get a lot of assumptions are made of what they can't do, what they can do, or what's like okay, well he or she can't do this, but because they're have intellectual disabilities, it's okay. But like, no, it's not. Like, we got to fix that.
There's amazing people in the organization. It's a big passion of mine. Anyway, so
you've done some awesome stuff too.
Yeah.
Well, Mac, good luck.
Chicago, it's awesome. Don't seriously.
Hey,
I'm
not knocking it.
Okay. I feel like some dudes like, it's cold.
It's cold.
You got to practice in the cold.
I mean, that's life.
Okay. See, that's life. There we go.
Just so you know, much more important people than you are going to try to sell him on Chicago.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to do my part.
Hey,
do my part.
Every part counts.
It's a good. I'll tell you another thing. Bears locker room, good place. For real.
Very good place.
Well, they got great facilities too.
Well, but that too.
Yeah, but
that's true.
They care about that stuff.
We practiced out there for a week when I was. Who's I with?
It was
with the Dolphins.
With the Dolphins,
yeah,
like a year ago.
I mean, they won 3 games. You walked through there. It did not feel like a 3-win team. They were these.
That was actually kind of weird.
A lot of positive.
Yeah. That's little things. That's what stacks up later on.
Yeah. So
Mac, fascinating dude. We appreciate talking to you, man.
It's awesome, man. Thank you so much.
All right, that was Mack Hollins. I don't know if you can still see this, Sam. That's what Mack Hollins is.
Mack Hollins is one of the swaggiest. Y'all see his videos on social media where he explains how to, like facts that people don't know about life? He's a great follower.
He's a good dude.
We just went from that jersey he was wearing to this amazing suit.
It's a nice, there's a huge, a pendulum of style. Mack Hollins has that style. I got the, throw my pink suit on style.
That's awesome.
We had Michaela yesterday, who does an outstanding job for PHNX and all of us here at All City. She had the pink on yesterday. It's almost just disappointing that we couldn't. I mean,
if you were wearing if she's still wearing that, you guys.
Great minds think alike. Yeah. Tomorrow I'll be with my white with the tan, and we got it.
There we go.
That was fun talking to Mack Hollins. This is Sam Acho. He was just, right over here. Let's bring our old friend back with us.
Bears.
That's right.
Yeah,
we'll hold the read. I know that's why you're looking at me. We'll do that a little bit later. What do you got here with the book?
Man, I got my new book coming out. It's called Change Starts With You, Following Your Fire to Heal a Broken World. And obviously with the Chicago piece, y'all will understand this. So when I was playing with the Bears, played there 4 years, 2015 to 2018, two-time Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the team. A couple things happened. Number one, remember the Colin Kaepernick situation. Remember the NFL said, man, y'all can't take a knee, boom, boom, boom. And finally they retracted that statement. But they said, hey, if the players are serious about making a change, if anybody is serious about making a change, put your money where your mouth is. And we're like, what do you mean? They said, how about this? The NFL, Roger Goodell, and the league said, we will match up to $250,000 per team per year to social justice causes. And me and my team, that was Matt Nagy's first year. So we not only did we have early practices, we had an extra week of OTAs, but we also played in the Hall of Fame game. So we were going to be the first team out there to see, are we going to take a knee, you're going to stand, what are y'all going to do?
I remember that, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing was like, hey, sure, you could take a knee, you could stand, you could put your hand, but let's actually do something. So me, Trey Burton, Chase Daniel, Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, 46 out of 53 players got money together, raised so with the NFL matching and the team matching and other matches, raised nearly $1 million to 5 different social justice causes in the area: police community relations, education, et cetera. And so the whole idea about this book, it started there with this idea of like, man, athletes coming around and like helping communities, but it followed up with in 2020 with George Floyd when he got murdered and sports were canceled and athletes were thinking, what do we do? And so that was a time, if y'all remember, we had Jason Hayward, Jason Kipnis, Jonathan Taves, Malcolm Subban, Mitch Trubisky, Allen Robinson, Max Strus, Ryan Arcidiacono, from all the different teams in Chicago came together to the west side of Chicago because you see looting and rioting, et cetera. We're like, dude, let's see if this is really real. So we go and we saw that, but we also sat and listened to some of the kids in the community and some cops. All of us at a table. And the long and short of it is we sat, we listened, and we heard devastation, frustration, and all the despair. But then we took a tour of the community. And we saw glass on the ground and buildings boarded up. But we also I asked Jason Hayward on the bus, I said, man, we've been on this bus for 15 minutes. How many grocery stores have you seen in this community?
Yeah.
Yep.
He said, maybe one. I said, how many liquor stores have you seen? He said, over 10. So at that point, remember I told you before, we said, let's do something. We said, let's do something again. And so we decided to listen to the kids, see if they needed anything. They said, dude, we love a food mart. We said, where do you get your food from? They said, dude, we got to go to the gas station to get food. Yeah. So what about like healthy food? They said, we got to go 45 minutes. To like not even drive, we got to commute. So yes, we would love a food mart in our community. So we decided, me and Jason, all those guys, raised $500,000, bought a liquor store on the west side of Chicago, and flipped it into a food mart that the kids run and manage. So this book, Change Starts With You, is essentially this idea of like, man, the pain and frustration of people, whether being killed or social injustice, et cetera. What if you could, like, in the way Jason Hayward said it, he said, what if you could take aim? Like all that pent-up frustration, instead of just sitting and doing nothing and sitting on your hands, let's rally people together. And so we did that. And then the next year we did this 24-hour radiothon, raised about $600,000-$700,000 to make that temporary pop-up food mart into a permanent one. And so that's what this book's all about. It's available at samachobook.com. It's available for pre-order right now with some super cool offers, and it officially releases in less than a month, March 7th. Wow.
SamAchoBook.com.
SamAchoBook.com.
SamAchoBook.com. And Hayward, Jason's with the Dodgers now on a minor league invite to spring training, has opportunity to make the team. But he just $35 million facility.
Yeah, I was there. So I was there. So that's the thing about So we talk about change starts with you, right? Boom, boom, boom. Like, hey, let's just go and let's just get close. Let's just be curious. What happens if actually, instead of just saying, oh man, these black people or white people or whatever, let's just listen. So we listened to Jason. Jason wrote a huge check for that deal. Then he actually said, you know what? After we raised that money and built that food mart, he went back to the nonprofit and said, hey, what more can I do? So he just opened on Thursday the Jason Hayward Baseball Academy. You talked about it. There's a 10-acre campus. It's the largest full-size indoor FIFA-regulated field in the entire region. The mayor came, Lori Lightfoot came. People from the governor's office came. Deputy directors came. I was there. Jason was there. And we opened this deal in the west side, the side that people forget about. So it's got the Chicago Fire. They're involved. They got a training academy they're going to do there, a couple of nonprofits. And so that's the whole idea. And it's not just him. People think, oh, Jason Hayward, you're a great guy. Sam Acho, great guy. No, there are so many athletes that if they just given the opportunity, want to do something. People in media, right? Some of your colleagues at a different station. I don't know if I can say other stations, but different station. 670 the score.
We all know each other.
670 the score. Danny Parkins.
Danny was involved.
Did
in
a 24-hour radiothon. Stayed up 24 hours, and we had 5,000 people from Chicago and elsewhere donate money. Got people. I'm not an athlete. I ain't got $1 million, so people donated $128 on average, and to build this food mart. And so now Jason's doing that. There's so much more help going on. His baseball academy, as I mentioned, Chicago Fire's involved with Joe Mansueto, who did that, and I mean it's pretty amazing.
I want to ask you one football question since you brought up Matt Nagy. We talked to him on media night the other night, first time he'd spoken, and he talked about how he could have been a better communicator.
You said he could have been.
He said he could have been.
He was admitting some of his faults. To his credit, he could have easily been like, "Yo, I'm here with the Chiefs. We got a game on Sunday." But he talked to us for like 20 minutes about a lot of different stuff.
So, and then we were kind of hypothesizing that maybe just when he got triggered, when Nagy was angry, he didn't do a great job talking with guys. Did you experience? You're nodding your head. So what can you enlighten us about that part?
I think there's truth to that. So Matt Nagy was a first-time head coach, and you might be a brilliant offensive mind. But as a head coach, in my experience, the best head coaches are also great with people, right? They know how to motivate people. You see Andy Reid dancing in the locker room. They're giving them burgers, with in a little shoebox or whatever. Like those, in my experience, are the best coaches. They know how to relate. And I think that was an area of improvement for Matt Nagy. How do I relate with my players? Week 1 or whatever, when he first got signed, me and a couple other guys wanted to go up to his office, right? I'm trying to get to know the coach, et cetera. And he was up there like watching tape, grinding away, all of that. But the interpersonal side wasn't there. Now, mind you, you're a brand new coach. Just 90 guys, 80 guys, whatever guys could still, off season. You're trying to get to know everybody. But that was a piece I feel like he could have done better at. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. And I think one of his strengths, brilliant mind of like designing plays. We saw that in year 1. Mitch went to the Pro Bowl. All those super cool plays we did. He scored 6 touchdowns in one game.
Yeah, Bucks.
Bingo.
Yeah.
But the other side was, man, how do I relate with my guys? How do I listen to my guys? How do I get input? Mind you, I was only with him 1 year, so it may have gotten better the years after. But my experience was that he could have improved there.
That's interesting,
isn't it?
Yeah, because he comes off as a pretty good communicator, especially with the media.
With the media, he's
really.
Well,
I guess I've been in media recently, so I left Chicago. I got in media, so I'm watching interviews. I'm like, man, you don't seem like you want to talk to people. But
well,
then again,
that was at the end of last year.
That's
probably.
the time, and that's when I started. That's when I started working.
Yeah.
So. And also, we're giving him credit, but there was a lot of word salad, and he just kind of whatever the hell he was saying, and half the time it made no sense. Like he in the communication thing the other night, he's like, I was a really great communicator, but I could have been better at communication. Well, which one was it?
Which one was it? Yeah.
That's interesting.
Sam, really quickly to go back to all the things you're doing off the field, you could just tell how passionate you are about all of that. Where does that come from you? Where does that originate from?
I think two places. I'll start with my parents. So my mom and dad were born and raised in Nigeria. People say started from the bottom. Like they had nothing. Like they lived in a village where you had to walk with a bucket on your head to go get water. Yeah, I mean, some of y'all can understand where I'm coming from.
No, it's so foreign. Seriously, like let's just keep going. I get it, but it's like nobody can. I can't imagine even remotely what that would be like. You don't have running water at home.
Yeah, no lights, no running water. That's how they grew up. My mom would tell me stories about having to walk miles in her village to the stream with a bucket, fill the bucket up with water, walk mile, get carried on the head, right? Walk miles back to her place, boil the water so that it could get all the diseases out, cool down the water so that you can drink it. That's how they drank water. Yeah. How do you do laundry? The stream. Everything was, you take your clothes, go to the stream, wash it. How do you take bath? The stream. There was no running water. There was no light. Right, I remember my grandma's house, there was like one little light bulb because a Nigerian electricity provider called NEPA, they barely made it to her remote village. And so that's how they grew up. By the grace of God, they got a chance to come to America. My dad is a businessman and a marriage counselor, but he's also a pastor, like telling people about Jesus. So like they were missionaries who came to Nigeria that wanted to go tell these Nigerians, hey, let me tell you about Jesus. And they heard my dad preaching. And they're like, no, you need to come to America to help us. Okay. And so that was kind of his first way. So boom, came to America. And then all of a sudden they said, come back. So he started coming back, started going to school, et cetera. So I have an innate understanding of what home is like. Because I go back to Nigeria every summer and even in the Christmas time. So that's part of it, right? Dad and my mom as well. Cannot discount that. Then also, I'm telling you, like the grace of God, right? this is who I am or how I am. Like, that's how God made me. Some people are super analytical and like want to be behind a desk, and that's fine. God made me to communicate. I'm a communicator. It's my second book. My first book I actually wrote it as soon as I got released from the Bears. First time ever being cut ever in my life.
Yeah.
And that's when this book came out.
What was the first title?
It's called Let the World See You,
Yeah.
How to Be Real in a World Full of Fakes. Mind you, it came from Nagy. So Nagy, not whatever, good communicator or whatever.
Be you.
Be you.
Be you.
My last year in Chicago, and mind you, I was a guy, I won the academic Heisman Trophy. I could have gone to, Cambridge and all these schools, but I wanted to go to the NFL. And so I got my MBA from the Thunderbird School of Global Management while I was playing, the #1 international MBA in the world. I didn't tell a soul because I didn't want owners or coaches or anyone to think that I wasn't committed. This is when I was at the Cardinals. And so my point is I was hiding. My last year in Chicago, you take whatever good, bad you want to say about Nagy. My last year in Chicago, he came in and his whole motto for the team was be you. So Kyle Fuller, you love to golf? Dude, golf as much as you want. Just make sure you show up to work on time. Whereas other coaches would be like, oh, man, this guy golfs too much, right? Josh Bellamy, you like making rap videos? Mm-hmm. We would show Bellamy's, we call him Bezo. We show Bezo's rap videos in team meetings. Be you. And so this, I was like, oh, wow, I can be me. So he inspired in not in a lot of ways, in many ways, my first book, Let the World See You, How to Be Real in a World Full of Fakes. Because what happened was that year, all of us on the team, we started to be ourselves. And what happened? 12-4, playoffs, double doink. Obviously, we lost out, but 6, 8 guys in the Pro, a lot of guys in the Pro Bowl. Akeem had his best year. Kyle Fuller. I don't know if Danny went to the Pro Bowl that year, but a lot of Pro Bowlers. So
and Mitch had his best year.
Exactly. So Let the World See You, Be You. And that was the first book, but it started after a little bit of pain and frustration. I tore my pec, I got cut. And then this book is really about, that's a book about, man, the internal, who am I? This book is saying, now that I know who I am, how do I go and live that out, right? How do I use my platform, my voice, my microphone, my money, my time, my ability to, I said, I want to be out there and speak. And some people, they literally just want to go and sit with somebody and just listen. How do I use that gift to change the world? So you can do,
That's planting that flag out there and orienting towards it as often as possible. That's how I hear that, at least. This is who I am, and I'm going to try to be every single day. I'm going to try to get as close to that. When I get lost in the wilderness a little bit, I'm going back to that, which I don't think you get lost too often here, Sam. I think you're pretty on target.
But I do. But I'm telling you, and the people always say, check on your strong friends. Bro, it's not I'm passionate, all those things, but man, sometimes I get lonely, and I get sad, and I get frustrated. At others, but also at myself. Man, how come all the stuff I aspire to I don't do? How come I don't talk about my book more? Right? I don't post about my book more. What is it that's keeping me, the subtitle is Following Your Fire to Heal a Broken World? There's a fire inside of me, but I don't always show it. Why? How do I go address some of the stuff that whether happened to me or that I did, I haven't forgiven myself for, to go and follow that fire? So that's what I'm working on.
Fear, hurt, a lot going on there that can get in your way.
We got a lot of comments watching this, and it is resonating with them, man. So really appreciate it. Can I ask you one more football question?
Absolutely.
Since you were talking about, you were there in 17, 18, Mitch's first 2 years with you guys. I don't know how much of Justin Fields you've consumed, but you were a teammate of Mitch Trubisky's. You saw, that struggle a little bit. You also saw his best season in 18. Is there anything the Bears can learn with how the Mitch Trubisky situation was handled in not making similar mistakes with what they have in Justin Fields, who's clearly a talented guy?
Y'all saw this just like I did. Mitch's in his last season, his best games, when did they happen? Towards the end of the season. What happened then? Well, Matt Nagy either gave up play calling or decided to let me not say it that way. He decided to play to Mitch's strengths.
Yeah.
Right? He's elusive. He can roll out of the pocket. Don't try and make him into somebody else. And I was saying that as a fan watching, as a friend of Mitch and all these guys. Why are you just play to his strengths. And all of a sudden the Bears started doing that, and they started being successful. So that was a great lesson. Now I think this year the Bears did play to Justin Fields' strengths, right? Most rushing yards, all these things, records. So I don't think you can learn too much from the mistakes they made. I think there's a different lesson that needs to be learned. Y'all get this more than I do. Y'all are in it, in the trenches. But he needs weapons. And it's not a secret, right? He needs weapons. The Bears paid their specialists, receivers, running backs, whatever, lower than anybody else in the league this last year. Well, now what happens? They have more cap space than everybody else. And I've talked to Ryan Poles. He's like, we're going to be aggressive. I talked to him I spoke to the team, not to the players, but to the staff, the ownership, and senior vice presidents, et cetera, a few months ago. I got a chance to talk with Ryan Poles. And Bears are going to be aggressive this offseason. There's no doubt about it. And so my hope is that they would do like Jacksonville did in the offseason.
They spent a ton.
Yeah. But you saw it pay off, went to the playoffs.
And they were not getting a lot of love at the time, too. A lot of people thought they were crazy.
Good. But what did they do?
I thought they were crazy.
But what did they do? They turned it around. And then all of a sudden you go in the draft.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you get, I believe in Poles and Ian Cunningham, their decision-making, get guys in the draft. All of a sudden, we all know this, the tides are changing in the NFC North at least.
Definitely.
Right? Aaron Rodgers may or may not be there, and even if he is, this last year you struggled.
It might be the Lions and Bears soon.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So my whole point is, I think they've learned that lesson about playing to people's strengths. I think the part that they will do is go attack free agency, and then if you are where you think you could or should be during the season, do what Philly did this year. Do what the LA Rams did last year. Go get better during the season and make that playoff run.
That's the gold star right now.
Follow.
North
Sam,
Star.
this has been great. It's good seeing you. If there's anything we can do at our outlet to help all the things that you're doing, let us know.
Keep us included.
Absolutely.
We're down there in the city. You see the flag, CHGO. It's Chicago. We're all Chicagoans. Anything we can do to help would be great.
Love to help out in the community, whatever. And let's get creative. So
I'm all about it. Maybe we do another radiothon to raise money for that Jason Hayward deal out there we're doing.
Jason was such a first-class dude. He didn't play great the year they won the World Series, and I covered that team.
But what did he do at that when the rain delay?
Of course.
Ask anybody.
And
I wrote about that in my book too. Ask anybody. I wrote about that.
Yeah.
What happened during that was a lightning delay or whatever?
He brought him into the workout room, and he brought them together. This is the team that we've been all season long. They were all down. He changed the whole narrative. They went out and they won the World Series and ended a 108-year drought. And people will complain and people say, Hayward was a terrible free agent signing. He was the greatest free agent signing in the history of the franchise. I don't care. $180 million. He was worth $1.8 trillion for getting that off of the incredible monkey that was on the Cubs back then, and he had his part.
Leadership, you cannot downplay it. And that's all I will say. You cannot downplay it.
Especially in that moment. I mean, they were.
That's why there's no chance in hell I would trade Justin Fields because he seems to have that leadership that the
They're
Bears
not
like.
trading Justin
No, I
Fields.
know.
I've seen that stuff.
We got a couple people in here that said they already pre-ordered your book.
Let's go.
All
right.
SamAchoBook.com. Pre-order right now, and you'll get it for some. Long story short, I think y'all will love the message. Straight up, like what you're hearing from me on this microphone is what's in this book. That's what's on these pages, and even more encouragement of like, hey, how can we do this too? If I ain't got millions of dollars, but I want to make a change, and maybe it's not in society, maybe it's just in my family. SamAchoBook.com. Change starts with you.
Sam Acho, appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
good
you.
seeing you.
Also good to see you too.
All right. Nick, why don't you jump into a little Goose Island love?
Yeah, CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beers since 1988. So many great options like the Blackhawks Pale Ale, Bulls City 312, Beer Hug IPA series, and my new favorite, No Plans. Goose Island's 2 locations are open and ready to welcome you. Grab a beer right from their innovation tanks at the Goose Island Tap Room at 1800 West Fulton, or get a smash burger and a fresh beer of the week at the original Clybourne Brewhouse at 1800 North Clybourne. For reservations and pickup, go to gooseisland.com/locations, Goose Island Beer Company.
All right. So, Hoag's talking to Acho. Me and you are left alone, which I think is a perfect time right now to bring in our conversation with Carmie V, Carmen Vitali, our
good old friend,
CHGO teammate. Fun conversation about the game, fun conversation about what it's like to be Carmie V last night on the red carpet for the Hall of Fame induction. Let's bring her in right now. Here is our conversation an hour ago with Carmie V.
Well, look who we found here. Carmie V. She's just making big moves all week long.
I mean, I've been excited about running down Justin Fields. I was fired up about Adam Vinatieri. I was Mack Hollins today, but I mean, come on.
Stop.
Come on.
I'm old news. Are you kidding?
You
are not old news.
You are so new news.
Breaking news.
You are fresh. You are ready.
I haven't seen you guys in a few weeks, so this is nice. Like, we'd come all the way to Arizona for me to see you guys.
Well, you've been living the big life. Haven't you been in L.A. or something?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, my God.
Look at that smile.
Yeah, I have. It's nice and warm there. And it's
I just decided to, not do winter.
That's a great
decision.
Yeah.
Great decision.
James lived home, but if you
You're not coming back.
didn't have school and stuff, that's what we would be doing.
Carmie V was the only one on this set that had a credential to the red carpet last night to hang out with NFL royalty. So why don't you tell us what it was like to be that cool?
Well, I didn't really feel cool, but it was really slow until it wasn't, and then it was totally chaotic. And then we were actually right by the NFL Network set where they were bringing guys up. So it was like guys would be like rushed up onto the set and then like come back down a little bit. Great story in that I made an ass of myself with Andrew Whitworth because I got starstruck. He comes up and I wanted to ask him, just about the game. And, I'm focusing a lot on the trenches and covering the Eagles this week.
Of course you are.
So I introduced myself to him and he's like, no, I know who you are, Carmen. How are you? And I was like, and it just threw me off the entire time. I was fumbling over my questions. It was just, I totally not professional.
You got rattled that Whitworth knew you.
Yeah.
You don't know how big. You don't know how big you are.
No, that's silly.
Is it?
It is, but. So that was the highlight of my night, though, was just losing my, marbles over Andrew Whitworth. And then Kay Adams was walking the red carpet with an Old Spice deodorant stick.
Of course she
so
was.
Yep. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Totally chaotic. A total sideshow.
I love how you're like, of course she was.
Well,
why would you be walking around with an Old Spice deodorant?
Because somebody
makes
wants
no sense.
Because somebody wants to sponsor Kay Adams. Of course, she has the thing. She's big time in there. She's doing something, making money. That's how I, of course, did.
I hugged her and she just says in my ear, she's like, Carmen, my date is a deodorant stick.
Aww. At least it's somebody. Carmen, outside of being starstruck by Andrew Whitworth, how's this week been for you? I know you said you just got here on Sunday, and now
just got here on Sunday. Do you guys hear my voice at this point? I'm completely talked out. No, it's been a total blur, but it's been really awesome. And I mean, this is so much fun to get to kind of reconnect with a lot of people and see a lot of people that you haven't seen in a while. I mean, especially with the pandemic, these off-season events, they're few and far between, and it's just nice to be able to reconnect.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that Super Bowl week is finally back to normal. Because even last year, they didn't show up till midweek. The teams didn't. The media party was later in the week. Yeah. You were kind of sitting around where is everybody? And then, no, because you see a lot of people, like us running into Carmie V.
It's been fantastic to get blown off by Justin Fields all week long. This is glad that we're back to normal.
I thought we talked about how we weren't going to talk about that today.
No, we're still efforting in my head, at least. And we love QB1 always and forever. You are a football nerd, so tell us what's going to happen in the football game on Sunday.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, these two teams are just mirror images of each other. I mean, you see that in the stats and everything like that. I do think, and this is what I talked to Whitworth about, was the trenches are going to be the biggest deal in this because you've got an Eagles O-line that boasts multiple Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, but their D-line is it's flying under the radar as far as I'm concerned. No one's talking about them enough, how deep that rotation is on the interior especially, and how much that's opened things up. I mean, you see Hassan Reddick had, 16 sacks this year. They set a franchise record, and they were on a historic pace for the sacks that they had, 70 sacks this year as a defense. We're not talking about that enough. But Patrick Mahomes has a fully healthy O-line in front of him now. So who wins out over that? Andrew was telling me, he's like, I think if anybody can do it, this Eagles D-line can get pressure. And getting pressure with 4 is going to be the key. If they can do that, the Chiefs are going to have a tough time.
You want to quibble with any of that, Hogue?
No, I totally agree. I've been struggling with this all week because everything she said is right. And I'm someone that starts in the trenches too, and it's offensive line, defensive line. I think the Eagles have the edge in both. But on the other hand, it's when you start someone had a tweet last night after Mahomes won the MVP again, just listing off his resume already.
Oh my God!
And comparing it to Michael Jordan, and seriously, he is on he's at that you just can't
bet against him.
Him because he's going to do something crazy. Even some of those throws he made early in the AFC Championship game with one leg. I'm like, how is this happening?
Right.
If he loses this game, though, the narrative will start to move, not necessarily fairly so, but people, he's only won one, and now he's lost again in the big game, and maybe who knows if they'll be able to get back there next year. All that stuff will start.
I don't know that you can I mean, it's definitely not fair, but especially because he's never the reason they lose. He's the reason that they're in it, and so I feel like it doesn't hurt him too badly. Even in that Super Bowl against the Bucs, where he was missing both of his starting tackles. I mean, he played well. He did absolutely everything he possibly could, and the Bucs just were able to shut him down because of the issues on the line. But, I mean, again, He's going to play well. He's going to be able to do things that are crazy. That's why you need to get pressure with 4, because you need the guys in the backfield accounting for their skill players that are going to get open, because Patrick Mahomes can buy them 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds.
Carmi, another person that's going to play well, or 2 people in general, the Kelsey brothers are going to play well. But I don't even want to talk about them. Have you seen their mom and just how she's so – her fashion is amazing.
Oh, my gosh.
She's wearing Jordan 1 lows, has the Chiefs, the Eagles attire. It's amazing.
Travis gets it from somewhere. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Travis is like his fashion. It was so funny on opening night. She was on stage and they were interviewing her with her sons, and they were like, oh no, it wasn't opening night. It was on their podcast, which is a goldmine.
Oh, absolutely.
They were asking, like, Jason was like, were you mad that Travis wasn't a girl? And she goes, well, I mean, I kind of got a girl. He's a fashionista, isn't he?
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, oh, Travis Kelce is. I mean, only Mama Kelce could get away with that. But no, she's been awesome. I mean, from bringing them cookies on stage, opening night. I saw her on the red carpet last night, too, and making the rounds with absolutely everybody. My Fox Sports counterpart, who was doing our social, asked her who would win between if you put 11 Jason Kelces on the field or 11 Travis Kelces on the field. Ooh. Who would win? And her answer was probably Jason, because the Travises wouldn't be able to get past the line.
That's true.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I don't get why.
Just look at all this football analysis coming out.
It's strong right now.
Even from Mrs. Kelsey.
That's true, but here's the thing that's confusing. Right now when you're playing the Chiefs that Travis Kelce is the #1 target for Patrick Mahomes.
Carm, we've talked about this. You can't. Which player out there can guard him? That's the reason why he's so good is because he's a #1 wide receiver in a tight end's body.
It doesn't matter.
You can't cover him.
Put 2 people on him.
It doesn't matter if you double him, because that's the thing is Patrick Mahomes can buy all the time he needs, and they have such a good rapport with each other that he will find him no matter where he's at.
A lot of times he's just running free, and there's some rando dude who he just gives him one little shimmy, and then he's just standing there, and I'm like,
yeah.
How's that possible?
Because of the stuff that happens when he gets off the line, and the fact that you can't put a linebacker on him because they're not fast enough. A safety's not big enough. Who are you supposed to put on him?
It's called building a good football team.
I'm not trying to make it out like the guy's not great. Clearly, he is great. I want some defensive coordinator to sit down here and explain to me why they can't cover him. With all due respect to your football knowledge and yours too, and yours.
We just told you.
They're going to say the same exact thing.
I need.
Mark, you need to enter your name in the defensive coordinator conversation.
I want Alan Williams down here in a very truth moment with me and Alan, and then I'll calm down about figure out a better way to cover this dude. Come on, man. This is not Jerry Rice.
Get on Madden and create a player.
Seriously,
he's 99 overall and everything, and maybe
take away the comfort zone. Make him throw the ball to Juju Smith-Schuster. That's all. If I was the Eagles, that's all I would do.
Yeah, and they're going to try to do that. But he can also throw the ball to Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's fine.
And Juju Smith-Schuster can also catch the ball.
That's fine. Let me lose that way. I will lose that way if I'm the Eagles. I'm not losing having Kelce standing wide open in the end zone because we couldn't figure out how to double him. That's not how I'm going to lose.
Future Bear, J.J. Schuster.
Could be
Juju Smith-Schuster. J.J. Schuster.
Who's J.J. Schuster?
I don't know who J.J.
Same
Schuster
guy.
Probably the guy who will be the future Bear.
David
some
Schuster.
Guy named J.J. Schuster.
David Schuster. He's getting sound right now at some sporting event. That's our guy. Love you, Shu. Hey.
Okay, so Carmie is one of the many stars, women around here, around Media Row, I guess we're calling it now.
It's all weird when you say star.
No, but just here's where I'm going with it, because we've never talked about this before. You've been on our shows all year, but just like the amount of football knowledge you have is impressive. People like you and Mina Kimes out there that are just like crushing it right now. Mm-hmm. I saw Mina Kimes got like this huge story yesterday about how she's going to be a free agent and stuff like that.
I hear she's leaving and you're getting her gig.
Okay, don't do that to her.
Oh my God!
But
how much do you pay attention to stuff like that though, and like? I don't know, look up to people like that.
Mina she's been amazing to me just in general. I've looked up to her for so long, and we have now cultivated a friendship, and she's always been so encouraging. She's probably the reason I have an agent, because she shouted me out a few months ago.
Yeah.
And on a sports business podcast, and literally that next day, I got a call from an agency. Like,
Wow.
and we went, and so, but more than that, it's more behind the scenes where she's so incredibly supportive. She's encouraging, and her prep work, her prep time, the amount that she puts into her job is just, it's unparalleled. And I can't say enough great things about her because she's the total package, and she deserves all of the success she has.
Well,
See, here I thought that it was CHGO that, got the agency phone call. No, it was Mina Kimes.
Yeah. Well, but
damn.
But that does underline in your position, in your seat as a woman doing this, as not being someone who's hosting the show, but being a football
Part of the
expert.
conversation, yeah.
You have to. It's like you probably feel like you have to know that much more to, right? Do you?
We talk honestly. I've talked with her a lot about it. The hard part is, someone always has something to say on Twitter, no matter what stat you put up, no matter like how thorough you are, and that's not exclusive to women. I mean, that happens all the time, but it does wear on you after a while. But you do feel like you have to be absolutely rock solid, because if you have any little hole or you misspeak or anything like that, you're going to get killed for it. But that's kind of the nature of the beast, and you get a little bit more used to it, and you block it out a little bit easier as you go on. And as long as you're comfortable in your knowledge and how much prep work you've done, then you're fine. That's kind of what I focus on.
Bottom line, more people need to be like Carmie V in terms of how you prepare and how you
so uncomfortable right now.
You know your stuff, and you'll be in a good
especially
spot.
Carmie Mark here.
You don't need to do any. Listen, if the haters are coming at you, you give me a call. I'll tell you how I handled Devontae Smith and everything else.
What?
Did you see that one?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll talk off air about that, I guess.
We've exhausted it on the show.
Yeah, we have.
It's the worst take in all city
It's the best
company
take
history.
ever.
But it's truly inspiring.
Thank you, Allie. I appreciate that.
Not you.
You're not inspiring. Carmie is inspiring.
Oh, this is inspiring.
Not your take.
That hurts. That hurts.
Love
I thought you were
but
so.
Carmie V is inspiring.
She is. She is.
Especially to the young women in sports who want to get into and do what she wants to do.
All right.
Or do what she does.
I thought we just had a bond that clearly does not exist, so that's okay.
I think that just went in the top 5 greatest car moments of the week. We've had a lot of car moments.
Yes.
Oh, I'm shocked.
He was yelling. Joe Montana walked by, and
I yelled at him.
Arguable goat.
Arguable goat. Arguable goat. Right? He is. He's an arguable goat. Too much narrative on Tom Brady's goat. Tom Brady. I got it. We got it. But let's not just throw Joe Montana into the corner here.
I don't think anybody does, but I mean, like the results and the accolades and stuff. I mean, that's what hurts.
Tom Brady's a goat.
Okay, Nick. But Montana, he falls under the umbrella. Arguable goat. Arguable.
All right.
Not a great argument, but it's arguable. Carmie, thanks for stopping.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been great to see you here.
It's been fun. Flashback Friday.
Yeah.
Enjoy the game on Sunday.
Thank you.
I hope it's a good one. It should be a good one.
Yeah.
And
I'm all Eagles for this game. So I got Fox is having me cover the Eagles, and it just so happens my dad is from Philly, and the reason I'm a football fan is because of my rabid cousins and uncles that just go. I mean, if you've ever seen Silver Linings Playbook,
yes,
that's my family. So
wow.
Yeah. So
awesome.
I'm like, it's very nice.
Allie's
Philly.
Miss Philly over here.
My family. I've been.
The
reason I'm into football is because of the Eagles.
Yeah.
When I was 4 years old, or else I would have been disowned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I was living in Chicago, so I got to be a Bears fan, but just getting into football in general, like being in those living rooms, I've still never heard combinations of swear words as I have watching those games. It was so much fun.
I hate Philadelphia.
So fly, Eagles, fly.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Carmie V, she's the best.
Thanks,
And
guys. No, stop.
we'll talk to you. No,
cheers. Let's go.
they think we're cheering for Sean Payton. It's for Carmie V. How about that? How about that? There was Carmie V a little bit earlier today.
Carmie V.
Guys, we have reached the end.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
This is it, Mark.
We have. This is the end. Right now. Before it's the actual end, we got some super chats we got to get to, but then we're out of here.
Peanut Tillman's right down the corner.
Well.
Cole Kmet's running around somewhere or not. I don't know if he is. He isn't.
Well,
Oh, well.
Could just be a rumor.
Good.
No one's actually seen him.
I don't want to leave. Hey, thank you so much we had so much support this week. We'll get to that in a second, but this was so much fun.
Let's fly through these super chats.
All right, JT here says, I never get to comment while at work, but I love the show, guys, and listen while at work every day. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
JT. Means a lot, JT. Thank you.
Chris says, I was watching Bears rumors on YouTube, and I saw a Commanders-Bears trade rumor, and it was Trey Mack, Chase Youngs, Dotson, Payne with the 16 overall pick and a 24th first. Personally, that's highway robbery.
And a rumor, right? That's a lot going on there, you guys.
That was a massive trade. Where was that trade?
Chase Young is an interesting reclamation project. Chase Young has been they didn't pick up his option. Isn't that correct? Didn't they not pick up Chase Young's option? It was $17 million. He's got 1 year left. Maybe it's just 1 year at 17. You can have him.
There's a lot going on.
Guy's been hurt a ton.
Chris, I love you, Chris. 1999 Super Chat. That's the most unrealistic trade I've ever seen.
Well,
I'll take all the good players on the Commanders for, yeah. Any other ones?
Yes, Kevin here says, coolest person you saw and coolest person you got to talk to this week.
Man.
Well, we saw Flavor Flav walk around.
He didn't have his clock, though. Did not have his clock.
Didn't have the clock.
So it's just a guy.
Got the dap from Justin. That was big.
Yeah.
I don't think he made it on the show. If memory serves, he wasn't here.
Sam Acho was pretty good.
Sam Acho.
Well, Seth Rollins has the most followers out of any of the people that we've met.
That is going to be on YouTube if it's not already, our Seth Rollins interview.
We never played that, did we?
We never played it. We could play it next week if we need. But it's also going to be on YouTube as well.
For our wrestling CHGO Bears fans, by the way, hit that subscribe button. We're getting close. We're inching. I don't exactly know how many. We still need some help on that when we get to 25K.
We got to get out of here because our Phoenix friends need to talk to Patrick Peterson.
Okay.
But, one really quick one.
Yep.
$50 super chat here from the Duke. Where the hell have you guys been? I've been looking everywhere for you. JK, been busy. Be well.
Oh,
Thank you, Duke.
Come on, Duke. Our guy Duke coming through.
We love you, Duke.
We are so close to 25,000 YouTube subscribers.
Come on.
Let's get there by the end of the day, okay? Folks, if you're watching the show, send it to somebody. We will get there. Thank you so much, seriously, to everybody that has helped this show all week. Allie's been here. Emma. We got Ryan Greensman walking around with us, taking video.
Everybody.
Michaela has been a superstar behind the scenes.
Her name is actually Michaela Superstar.
Michaela
As it is
Superstar.
Allie Superstar, Emma Superstar.
I mean, seriously, they've all been great. Back home in Chicago, too, Lawrence Benedetto, who's our producer on a daily basis, has been back there doing so much work for us. Casey with crushing it with the social media. Kevin Kaduk's been...
Will DeWitt putting out the posts. Everybody.
Will's been pumping stuff out for us. So thank you so much to everybody involved, our All-City crew, our new friends at PHNX, our DMVR guys.
Greg Braggs.
We've had fun.
Everybody.
It's been very upset
That's the
on
one
Twitter.
guy we don't need to thank is Greg Braggs.
Guy's been amazing.
He's been in the chat every day.
Yes.
Thanks. Look at Allie.
I'm kidding, Braggs.
I thank you, Greg.
All right, guys.
Carm, thanks you, Greg.
Been a pleasure.
Nick,
it's been fun, guys. Great job, everyone.
I really am. When I go to sleep tonight and you're not there, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's gonna be a thing.
Sleepover.
You can call me.
Maybe I'll
But please don't.
Sleepover soon.
Call Nick. Call Nick.
Where do you live? I need to know.
I'm not going to disclose that out of the air.
Arlington Heights. I know it. Okay, it's not that far from the South Loop.
If you missed anything from this entire week, it is all on our YouTube channel. Go back and find it. Social media at @CHGO_Bears.
Thanks to my guy Ike from Ike's Sandwiches. They're all over the place in Phoenix and Denver. That thing was straight delicious. You ate it. You ate it too, Ike.
I ate something called the Steph Curry.
Donovan McNabb's on walking by. Great Chicagoan. Fantastic Chicagoan. Outstanding quarterback.
That's how we're ending the week. Donovan McNabb. Fly, Eagles, fly. Who you picking?
Chiefs.
Eagles by 8.
Eagles. That's all I got. We're out of here. We'll see you back in Chicago on Monday.
See ya.